Sometimes you don't want competition. You just want a good story, a good world, and a game you can enjoy at your own pace. So here are the best single-player games you should try. Starting off the list with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. In this game, you play as Indiana Jones, a smart archaeologist who relies more on his brain than brute force. So instead of crazy combat, the game focuses more on exploration, puzzles, and uncovering secrets. You'll be traveling across different locations, exploring ruins and solving environmental puzzles along the way. What I like the most is how immersive it feels. You're not just following objectives, you're actually observing your surroundings and figuring things out. It also gives a bit of an Uncharted vibe. But where Uncharted is more action-heavy, this leans more towards exploration and puzzle solving. So if you enjoy story-driven adventures, this is definitely worth trying.
I don't suppose you know how to fly this thing, do you?
Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, you play as Nathan Drake, a treasure hunter who gets pulled back into one last adventure. And honestly, when I played this, it felt more like a movie than a game. The story, the characters, the emotions, everything just pulls you in. What I like the most is the pacing. It slows down at the right moments and then suddenly throws you into intense action sequences. Some of the chase and climbing moments feel really smooth and cinematic. And that's what makes it so engaging. You're always involved in what's happening. From exploring different locations to escaping dangerous situations, everything feels well crafted. So if you want a game with strong story, great characters, and cinematic gameplay, this is definitely one of the best single-player experiences.
Back up! Wait, don't worry, I got this! I don't got this!
Batman Arkham City. In this game, you play as Batman, protecting Gotham while facing some of the most iconic villains. And what really stands out here is the combat system. It's simple to learn, but once you get used to it, it feels incredibly satisfying. Chaining punches, counters, and gadgets together makes you actually feel like Batman. What I personally enjoyed the most is how smooth everything feels during fights. You're not just button mashing, you're reacting, timing, and controlling the flow of combat. The world design is also really solid. Arkham City feels dark, detailed, and perfectly fits the tone of Batman. And the way the story connects different villains keeps things interesting throughout. So if you enjoy action-focused games with satisfying combat, this is definitely a must-play. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In this game, you play as either Alexios or Cassandra, a mercenary trying to find their place in ancient Greece. And honestly, this game is all about freedom. The world is huge, and there's always something to do, from exploring islands to taking on side quests, or just sailing across the sea. You can easily lose hours without even realizing it. What I personally like the most is the RPG system. You can build your character in different ways, whether you prefer stealth, combat, or a mix of both. And that actually changes how you approach missions. The world itself also looks beautiful, especially the landscapes and cities. But yeah, it's a long game. So if you enjoy big open world experiences and don't mind spending a lot of time exploring, this is definitely worth playing. The Last of Us Part 1. This is one of those games where you don't need too much explanation. You're playing as Joel, and your job is simple: keep Ellie safe. But the way the game builds that journey, that's what makes it special. What stood out to me was how grounded everything feels. There are no over-the-top moments, no unnecessary drama, just a slow, realistic story that keeps getting deeper as you move forward. Even the gameplay follows that same idea. Every fight feels tense because you can't just rush in. You have to think, and that keeps you engaged the whole time. For me, this is one of those games that doesn't try to impress you. It just naturally does.
This tourist put up a hell of a fight. Took two of us to put him down.
Wait. How many is that now?
Red Dead Redemption 2. You play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw trying to survive in a world that's slowly changing. And this game doesn't rush you. Everything feels slow, but in a good way. From riding your horse to interacting with people, everything feels detailed and alive. When I played this, there were moments where I just stopped, not for a mission, just to look at the world around me. And that rarely happens in games. The world reacts to what you do. People remember your actions, and even small moments feel meaningful. And as the story moves forward, you slowly start connecting with Arthur. This is one of those games where you don't just play the story, you actually experience it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a robbery. Sons of Dutch. Makes us brothers. Sometimes.
God of War. You play as Kratos, but not the version most people remember. Here, he's calmer, more controlled, and that change is visible throughout the journey. The game isn't just about action. It's about the relationship between Kratos and his son, Atreus, and the way that bond develops feels natural as you keep playing. When I played this, I didn't expect the story to hit this hard. It starts simple, but slowly becomes something much deeper. The combat also stands out. That Leviathan axe just feels incredibly satisfying to use. Every throw, every recall, it just clicks. And once you get used to it, you actually start enjoying even small fights. This is not just an action game, it's a complete experience. Elden Ring. This is one of those games that doesn't tell you what to do. You're just dropped into a world and everything else is up to you. At first, it can feel confusing. There's no clear direction, no one guiding you step by step. But once I started understanding how things work, that's when it really clicked. Every enemy feels dangerous and every win feels earned. It's not about rushing, it's about learning and improving. And the exploration? You never know what you will find next. A boss, a hidden area, or something completely unexpected. That unpredictability keeps you engaged. This is not an easy game, but if you stick with it, it becomes one of the most satisfying experiences you can have. Grand Theft Auto 5. This game takes a different approach by letting you play as three characters, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Each one has a unique personality, and the story switches between them seamlessly. That constant shift keeps things fresh. One moment you're in a serious mission, and the next, everything turns chaotic. The world itself feels active and alive. There's always something happening, even when you're not following the main story. And that freedom is what makes it stand out. You can follow missions or just explore and create your own moments, and both feel equally engaging.
We was trying to get out of this bullshit.
God of War Ragnarok. This is a direct continuation of Kratos' journey, but everything feels bigger and more intense. You still play as Kratos alongside Atreus, but their relationship evolves further here. It's not just about guidance anymore, it's about understanding and conflict. The story takes a deeper approach, with more emotional moments and higher stakes throughout. Combat also feels more refined. You get more abilities, more variety, and fights feel more dynamic. It doesn't try to change everything, it builds on what already worked and improves it, which makes it a very strong sequel overall.
You feel it.
Cyberpunk 2077. This game drops you into Night City, a futuristic world filled with technology, crime, and chaos. You play as V, a mercenary trying to survive and build a reputation. And the biggest highlight here is the city itself. Night City feels dense, alive, and constantly moving. Every area has its own vibe, from bright neon streets to darker, more dangerous zones. The game also gives you multiple ways to approach situations. You can go stealth, focus on hacking, or go full combat. And that flexibility makes each mission feel different. The story also adds to the experience, with interesting characters and choices that affect how things play out. It's not perfect, but the overall experience feels unique, especially because of its world and atmosphere. Ghost of Tsushima. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai trying to protect his homeland during a Mongol invasion. And from the start, the game feels very calm, almost peaceful. But at the same time, there's a constant sense of tension. What really stands out is how the world guides you. Instead of markers, the wind shows you the direction. And that small detail makes exploration feel more natural. The combat is also very clean. It's not overly complicated, but timing and precision matter a lot. Every fight feels controlled, almost like a duel. And visually, this game is just beautiful. From open fields to forests and mountains, everything feels cinematic. It's one of those games that you enjoy just by being in its world.
I am samurai.
Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. This game throws you into a dangerous and unpredictable zone where survival is the main focus. You're not a hero here, just someone trying to make it through. And that's what makes it different. The world feels harsh, resources are limited, and every decision matters. You have to be careful because even small mistakes can cost you. The atmosphere also plays a big role. It's quiet, but that silence always feels tense. You never know what's coming next, whether it's enemies or something unexpected. That constant uncertainty keeps you on edge. This is not a relaxed experience. It's slow, intense, and focused on survival.
Here's your bolt.
Where the hell would I need a bolt?
Take a look around.
Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. This game takes a very different approach. It focuses on realism more than anything else. You're not a powerful hero here. You're just a normal person trying to survive in a medieval world. And because of that, everything feels more grounded. Combat is not easy. You can't just rush in and win. You have to learn, time your moves, and be patient. Even basic things like progression feel slower and more realistic. The world also reflects that same idea. It's not flashy, but it feels believable. Every action has weight, and every mistake matters. This is the kind of game that rewards patience and understanding. Black Myth: Wukong. This is one of those games that immediately stands out because of how it looks. You play as the Destined One, inspired by the Monkey King from Chinese mythology. And the combat here is fast, aggressive, and very fluid. It's not just about attacking. You're dodging, timing, and using abilities at the right moment. Enemies also feel challenging. Each fight requires attention. You can't just go in blindly. Visually, the game is on another level. From character design to environments, everything feels detailed and polished. It's the kind of game that keeps your attention just by how it looks and plays. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This game is all about speed, movement, and pure fun. You play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and switching between them keeps things interesting. Swinging through the city feels smoother than ever, and it's honestly one of those things you don't get tired of doing. Combat is also more dynamic. You have more abilities, more ways to handle enemies, and fights feel faster and more engaging. The story also adds to the experience, with strong characters and some emotional moments. But overall, this game is just fun to play. Everything feels smooth, responsive, and easy to get into.
The people I love.
Fallout 4. This game drops you into a post-apocalyptic world and then just lets you decide what to do. There's a main story, but you don't have to follow it immediately. You can explore, take side quests, or just wander around and see what you find. The world feels open and full of possibilities. You also get systems like crafting and base building, which add another layer to the gameplay. It's not just about fighting or completing missions. It's about how you choose to play. And that freedom is what makes the experience stand out. Hogwarts Legacy. If you've ever wanted to experience the Harry Potter world, this game actually lets you do that. You play as a student at Hogwarts, learning spells, exploring the castle, and discovering secrets. But it's not just about nostalgia. The game gives you a full open world experience where you can explore beyond Hogwarts as well. You can attend classes, learn new abilities, and build your own playstyle. Combat is also quite engaging. You're not just using one spell, you're combining different spells, and that makes fights more interesting. So if you enjoy fantasy worlds and want a mix of exploration and magic-based gameplay, this is a great pick for that kind of experience.
The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for.
Days Gone, if you're into open-world survival games, this is one you shouldn't ignore. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker trying to survive in a world filled with zombies. But what makes this game different is how it handles danger. It's not just a few enemies here and there, you'll face huge hordes, and that completely changes how you approach situations. You can't just rush in. You have to plan, use your surroundings, and manage your resources carefully. The bike also plays an important role. It's not just for traveling. You have to maintain it, refuel it, and rely on it to survive. So if you like games that mix exploration, survival, and a bit of strategy, this is a solid choice if you enjoy survival-focused open-world games.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Detroit: Become Human. If you're someone who enjoys games where your decisions actually matter, this is one you should pay attention to. This game is not about combat or fast gameplay. It's built around choices, and every decision you make can change the story completely. You're playing as multiple characters, and each one has their own perspective. So instead of just playing, you're constantly thinking about what to do next. And the interesting part is, there's no perfect choice. Every decision has consequences, and you have to live with them. That's what makes it engaging in a different way. So if you want a game that focuses more on story and decision making, this is definitely worth trying.
Look what you did! You were designed to serve humans, not kill them! Now it's my turn to decide.
So yeah, these were some of the best single-player games you should definitely try. Let me know in the comments which game you're planning to play next, or which one is your favorite. There are still a lot of amazing games out there, and I'll be covering more of them on this channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I'll see you in the next one.